Hey, this is Matt. Once again, welcome back to another video, and this is a paid request for Edward. Thank you so much for that. For those interested in requesting any type of videos, random thoughts, streams, commentaries, movie review, re-review, tier list, ranking, whatever the case may be, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal. I do have a CashApp as well. Links are down below in the info box, and I will get to it as soon as I possibly can. And this is for The Guest from 2014, directed by Adam Wingard. And you know what? I liked it. I liked it. When I first saw this back in the day, I probably had not seen it since. I remember having mixed feelings on it because I wasn't really sure if I got it. Meaning, it's kind of like how I felt about when I first saw Drive, although I like Drive a lot more than this film with Ryan Gosling, but it was like, when I first saw that film, I'm like, I'm not sure about it. Because it definitely has a different pacing, it's more of a slow build with the story. And I'm expecting like more action, and I still think the ending is kind of meh. Where like, I get what they're doing, but I guess I just expected more out of the ending of the film. But I will say, overall, this I think is easily one of the director's best films, because Adam Wingard, I'm not huge on him like other people are. I don't mind Death Note. A lot of people hated that film, but I never saw the original, never saw the source material. Or I did. Well, actually, no. I probably did, but I don't remember much about it, to be fair. So I think I did see bits of it, actually. But I liked the movie Death Note, and this one I thought was fairly well done. Because I don't like his Blair Witch movie. I think his Blair Witch movie is fucking garbage. With a capital fucking garbage. Godzilla vs. Kong and the sequel I thought were boring bullshit. Stupid fucking bullshit. I hate both those fucking films. Godzilla vs. Kong, fuck both those fucking movies. I know people like them, that's fine. They could kiss my fucking sweaty ass. But this one is a rather good movie. Dan Stevens, he's the MVP. He is fantastic. It is still the best role I've seen him play. He's done other stuff. He was in the remake of Beauty and the Beast. He was in that film, was it Anna? Abigail, the vampire one. I still think this is the best role he played. He makes the film. It has a really good soundtrack. I especially like the song Sahara, which plays during a party. That's a really good piece of music, Sahara. I kind of wish it was done like in a scene where like he's gearing up with guns and has to defend himself against the hit squad team. I think if the song played there, it would have been even more of a banger, but it's still a good soundtrack. I thought the cast did a pretty good job. Maika Monroe, who, yes, she was in the film Longlegs, which I like this film a lot more than that. Like, this one I really got into. Like, I liked it more watching it this time than I did before, so I do like this film. It's definitely, this is one of those films that has grown on me. So there you go. When you ask, what's a film that's grown on you? This is a film that's one of those. Like Soldier with Kurt Russell. Yes, The Amazing Spider-Man 2 has grown on me. This would be another one. Does that mean every film will grow on you? No, but some films age better than others. I think at the time, like, so many people were given so much hype, and that can hurt it. I agree, there are films that have gotten hype that I watch and I still hate. Hereditary I still fucking hate. Midsommar I still fucking hate. This one, I never hated, but no, I'm like, eh. So the story is pretty simple. This guy who was in the military, he is jogging, he's running, and he knocks on the door of this family. The mom answers, and Dan Stevens says that he knew their son who died in, it's been said, in Afghanistan. So you have a mom, a dad. The dad is played by Leland Orser, who was in Seven. He was Christopher Lambert's partner in Resurrection. He was an alien resurrection. What's infected inside me? You know, that guy. He plays the dad. There's a younger brother who's a bit of a shy. He gets bullied at school. I thought he did a really good job. I think the character was Luke, I believe. And then you have the daughter, played by Maika Monroe. And she did a good job as well. They all did good. And Dan Stevens, he's like, I knew your son. And he gets along with the mom. And pretty much a lot of the people he meets, they easily, other than the sister, Anna is the character Maika Monroe plays. She's a bit hesitant, but the others warm up to Dan Stevens' character pretty quickly. And it makes sense. Dan Stevens has that it factor in this movie, like Ryan Gosling did in Drive. He have a certain look. He has a certain presence. He has a certain aura that just, you gravitate towards him, and you're wondering what's going to make him tick and what he's going to do next. Again, like Ryan Gosling had in Drive, Dan Stevens has in this. Although Dan, I think, has a bit more dialogue than Ryan Gosling did in Drive. And they tell him to stick around. The mom says you can stay here for the night. The dad says, hey, at first he's not sure about him, but then he's like, hey, stop calling me sir, my name is Spencer, and wait, you don't know where you're going? Yeah, I'm going to take the bus to go to Florida, I'll find a job. No, stick around at least until you know where you're going. And he seems very nice. It seems like everything's working out the best. And then you see that certain bits are not quite right with Dan Stevens. You never see him sleep. Maybe he doesn't sleep. He'll sit on his bed and kind of... He's even asked at one point, are you tired? Oh, I don't need much sleep. But you never see him sleep. And the younger kid, he finds out this kid was bullied. Tell me who they are. Follow them to a bar. And he gets along well with the younger kid. Brings them the bullies some drinks to piss them off. And fucks their day up in the bar. Takes them down, beats their ass, breaks their fucking ankle, beats the ever-loving shit out of them. And you tell there's a bit of a danger to him. When the bartender's like, okay, you're buying those guys' girls' drinks, you want to buy the guys' drinks? Do it look like I want to buy something for those fellas? You know what, actually, give them some Cosmopolitans. Well, the girls give them the drink, what's that, the blowjob. It just fucks them up. And so the younger kid kind of gravitates towards him because he's like the older brother who passed away and defends him. I guess you get an inkling that maybe that kid is gay. Maybe? I don't know. Because maybe not. Because there's a bit later on where the guy keeps calling him a certain word. And the kid defends himself. Then the principal's going to suspend him, and then Dan Stevens turns around and goes, oh, okay. So I guess you're okay with hate crimes. I don't know why I tried to say hate crimes. I try to be really southern, like the hate crimes. Guess you love hate crimes, huh? What are you talking about? Well, I mean, a kid who happens to be gay. He was defending himself from a hate crime, and you decided to suspend him. I guess we're going to tell people. In fact, we'll sue the school. I didn't know he was gay. Well, I guess, we'll sue you. So he's able to manipulate and make the guy change his ways. So I don't know, maybe the kid wasn't gay, and they just brought that up to keep him from being suspended. Expelled, I should say expelled. But... like I said, Dan Stevens really sells the film. And it's not a long film. It's only an hour and 20-some minutes, so it doesn't overstay its welcome. I think what it is with this, I wasn't thinking it was going to be some action movie. There's a little bit of action, it's more I got into the story of just who this guy is, how he ticks, and then you find out bits and pieces, which I believe they filmed a lot more over explaining who he was, where he came from. But I guess the test audience did not like that, so they cut a lot of that out. So a little bit more ambiguous. But you do get a little bits here and there of info later on. And I forgot some of the people that was in this, like Lance Reddick. Rest in peace to him. I loved him in the John Wick films. I hate that they fucking killed his character off in John Wick 4. I know sadly the actors passed away, but the fact that even before he passed away, your idea was to kill him off in John Wick 4, I thought that was really shitty. Why did you need to do that? Why? That wasn't needed. At least, I don't know. At least have his character live on vicariously, like Paul Walker in Fast and Furious. But no. But Lance Reddick, I do think he's a really good actor. He plays a major Carver. I kind of wish they did a more, like he was a Dr. Loomis, Donald Pleasance type, because you could tell that this film is trying to have a bit of that slasher element with the text, and the text, like the title text, like Halloween. Even the store times has a synthesizer bit, trying to be a little bit of a Halloween slasher film in a way. So it's trying to have that feel. I think the music in the synth store works in its favor. So I kind of wish they played more of Major Carver as like a Dr. Loomis type. Up to the end of the film. I would have much preferred that. Maybe you say they try to do a little bit of it, but I wish they would have done more with Lance Reddick. I do. Just because he was a great actor. But other people, there's this bit where after this party happens and everyone seems to like Dan Stevens, Dan goes, I want to get a gun. So these two get them guns. They're in this meeting in the middle of nowhere. This is spoilers, by the way. Spoilers. So before I go into spoilers, I would say this. If you want to see a film that's an 80-some minute movie, bit of a slow build, but has this good... This is going to sound stupid, but like Universal Soldier meets a slasher film. I don't know if that makes sense to people, but that's kind of how I view it. If Universal Soldier and a slasher film kind of met up, but not an action film, it's more, again, slow build, bit of horror, that kind of thing. And some nice style, good music, good performances. Either you've already seen it and you liked it, or you're like me, I wasn't sure about it, but it's better than the shit Adam Wingard did afterward, and is, again, easily one of his best films. So, getting more into spoilers. The two people we meet is Ethan Embry, who was in films like Can't Hardly Wait. He had a bit role in Eagle Eye. He's been in a lot of stuff, Ethan Embry. And Joel David Moore. He was the guy who was the star of the first Hatchet film. I think he was in Avatar, I believe. But anyway, the two of them get him guns, but I'm going to take all the guns. Oh, sure. No, you don't get it. I'm going to take them because I'm going to kill you both. And what you find out is he was part of a test. Now, again, I guess they shot more of what this stuff was, and that was cut out. But it was a test. It was some test that I guess the son character who died in Afghanistan, he was part of these tests as well. And about to be a killing machine. And if it's programmed to clean up loose ends. So if it seems like the cover is blown, if their identity is known, even if they don't want to, they have to kill. Even if they don't want to, they have to wipe out and destroy and murder. Even Lance Reddick says, even if they don't want to, like he doesn't have a choice. Now, part of me kind of wish they played it up with Dan Stevens, where there are points where maybe his eyes are. They do a little bit where he'll say, "I'm sorry." So they do. I don't know, I guess maybe if there's a little bit more of him trying to fight the program but failing. But again, maybe they thought that'd be too melodramatic or such. There's one bit that seems like he would, where the younger kid says that my sister is looking info up on you. And I think Dan Stevens does a good job where he could go from friendly to like his face could just change from like just that programming is turned on. But he doesn't kill the kid because he says, "No, I'm not going to tell anybody because we're friends." And you get the sense that this guy wants to have a normal life. This guy wants to be on the... but just can't. And he came here to really try to help the family of his friend, who apparently was one of these test subjects, but sadly things have gone wrong and haywire. Again, they told him to stay. And then once it turns on, it ratchets up a bit of the action where this hit squad, led by Lance Reddick, tries to kill him, and he kills them instead. Some good, not a lot, but, a couple of blood squibs in there. He has to kill the mom, and he apologizes. He goes, "I'm sorry, and if your son was here, he would know why I would have to do this, because he can't control it." He got killed the dad. He apologizes and shoots him. He blows up this diner after shooting someone. And then the finale is kind of in this, I don't know what you call it. There's this hall of mirrors. Sadly, Lance Reddick gets killed. That's why I wish they kind of played it more of like Dr. Loomis, where he doesn't get killed, but maybe he just gets injured, or... But I guess that would play into he doesn't want to leave loose ends, so why would he leave that loose end? I don't know. I mean, technically, by the end, he's leading... That's what I mean by the ending. Like, the ending... He's able to kill all these people, but yet it takes him forever to try to kill Maika Monroe's character, choking her, and then the one kid stabs him. I do like the bit where he says, "I don't blame you, you did the right thing." And he does like this. I thought that was kind of funny. But I guess I thought it'd be much more of like the two of them battling this guy, like any other slasher where they gotta battle the unstoppable killer. And it'd be like, I don't know, a bit longer, a little bit more intricate, a little bit more of a chase, a little bit more of, like a lot of slasher films, it's a bit more of a chase and a battle, and it just didn't seem that long of a chase or a battle to me. And then at the very end of the film, she notices he's in a firefighter suit trying to leave, and she's like, "What the fuck?" And then the movie ends. So is that now a loose end? Because his programming, I gotta clean up my loose ends. Does that mean he's going to kill everybody there? He's going to go after them right then and there? Is she going to say anything? Or is she going to keep quiet so they all live? So the ending bothers me a bit. Maybe it doesn't for others. They thought, it's just a funny joke, funny way to end the film. A take on slasher films where the killer can't stay dead. And I get that. I do get it. It's just, I wanted a little bit more. That's the best way to put it. I just wanted a bit more at the end. But as is, I thought the cast did a good job. Dan Stevens, the goal from nice guy, the killer, program killer, it's his best role he's played. The score is very well done. The music, the song choices. It's a short film, so it doesn't overstay its welcome. I mean, okay, it's technically longer than an hour and 20. It's like a 90 some minutes, to be fair. To me, it felt like an 80-minute movie. So technically, no, it's not an hour and 20 some minutes. It's longer than that. But it felt, I didn't feel it over long. That's what I meant by saying that. So yeah, you're like, what do you mean it's an hour? It's not an hour and 20. It felt like it. That's what I meant to say. Because it's longer than that. Yes, it is. But it felt that way. So I forget the exact running time. I'll look that up real quick, just because the outro running time is, it says 100 minutes, but I didn't feel that way. I didn't feel that way. So, which is a good thing. So that means it went at a fast pace. But yeah, the rest in peace to Lance Reddick. It was cool to see him in the film. Part of me would have been curious to see what a sequel would have been. Or, it could have been screwed up, who knows. I would have been intrigued to see what a sequel would have entailed. Like, what the plot would have been. But it is what it is. So overall, thanks for watching. Take care. And we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye for now.